Everybody, hope you had a good day. Today we are going to talk about Benjamin Šeško. It has been a debate, a huge debate amongst the United fans, like what's going on with Benjamin Šeško. How come he's not performing well? He's an expensive striker, an exciting striker, but things are not working out. So um, after that Chelsea game, a lot of fans came out to say that Šeško is not good enough for United. So I decided, let me do some digging. What's going on with Šeško? Are we seeing the same mistakes, or are we seeing a repeat of Rasmus Højlund? So I decided to do some digging, ask myself questions like, is he being misprofiled? Is he another case of poor striker signed by United for a huge fee? So today we are going to do a deep dive, learn about Šeško, what he's all about, why United went for him, and is he the ideal striker for Manchester United? So, as usual, welcome to the UKG podcast. My name is Simon, aka UKG, United Ground. Feel at home. Thanks for always being with us. Thanks for always being live. And yeah, get involved in the comment section. Let's get this show rolling. So, there's a lot that we need to discuss about Benjamin Šeško. It's a 73 million pound signing from Leipzig in August. And things are not looking great for Šeško. Yeah, he's had 11 goals and assists so far this season, which is still a good return for a new striker who's young, who's getting used to the English football, the Premier League, the FA, and all that. And also, he came to a team that was not quite good. The manager was struggling. That was Amorim. And of course, he didn't get a lot of game time. So today I want us to look at Šeško in detail. What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? Is United profiling him well? Is United supporting him so that he thrives? Or are United wasting him? Are United holding him back? So I'm just going to give you the stats. And then now we can judge. You can judge. I can judge and say whether he's still good enough for United or not. Because the truth of the matter is, a lot of fans, and I've seen a couple of comments during our lives that Šeško is not good enough for United. The other fans who are saying, like myself, who are saying he's not getting enough service, he's not being utilized to his fullest potential, his skills are not being utilized. So today I want us to do a deep dive, see whether I'm right in the sense of United are not using him to his strengths, or see whether the other fan base is correct, that he's not good enough for United. United made a mistake going for him. The others who are like in between, they don't know whether he's still good. They don't know whether United made a mistake. They still believe one day he will be good. So today we want to go through all that. And it's more of a discussion, it's more of a deep dive. Get involved in the comment section. I always try to read all comments. So please don't spam the comment section. Just post one comment. I'll make sure I go through the comments. Otherwise, if you spam, then you're denying other guys a chance to get their comments read. Also, get involved on YouTube if you want to see your comments displayed on screen. I can do that on YouTube. On TikTok, I can't. So we are going to discuss about a very young striker, a striker that was of high interest to many clubs over the summer, and that's Benjamin Šeško. Benjamin Šeško is a player who has become somewhat of a divisive character for United of late. You look at how the fans react to his performances. There are fans who say he's doing well. Like myself, I say based on what the requirements are for a striker, he's performing well. There are those that are coming out to say that no, he's still not good enough for United. United need to go for another striker, an experienced striker. I tend to agree in the sense of Benjamin Šeško needs to play with an experienced striker. We are going to look at which systems he thrives in and which system he doesn't thrive in. So United bought Šeško. I want to have my notes ready because I couldn't keep. Oh, why do I have this keyboard here? Oh, couldn't connect. What's going on? What's going on to TikTok? What's going on TikTok? Let me reduce the volume. And yeah, sorry about that. Technical issues a bit. You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Guys, can you hear me? Because my mics, I'm seeing my mics are okay. Can you hear me? Let me see. Let me just check that out. Oof. Let me just check that out on TikTok. My guy's not hearing me. Let's see. Let me go on YouTube first. That's strange because everything here shows that my audio is okay. Everything here is showing me that my audio is okay. So I'm wondering what's going on. Let me try to fix it. Let me try to fix it. Oh, come on. The channel. Live. What's going on here? Is the audio not working? Mic check 1, 2. Hello. Yeah, the audio on YouTube is okay. So let me check out on TikTok. I don't know what's going on TikTok because I was also disconnected. Let me just confirm on TikTok quickly before we go on with the discussion. This is a very interesting discussion that we need to have because there has been a lot of debate. I think it's okay. Shadonal, I think I'm okay. Yeah, I can hear myself on both YouTube and TikTok. So probably it's because I was disconnected for some time, but it should be okay now. Yeah, so good evening to you. Sorry, the Monk Doll. It's okay. I think it's okay. Yeah, Shadonal, big up. I had a lovely day. I'm reading your comments on the phone. Good evening to you as well, the Monk Doll. You can't hear me. I think if I increase the volume on my phone, yeah, I can hear the audio is okay. Sorry, I think I was disconnected by TikTok for one reason or another. So, let's now start the discussion. We're going to talk about Benjamin Šeško. Sorry that I had to sort out a bit of technical issues on TikTok, but I believe everything is okay. So Benjamin Šeško is one player that has become a divisive figure for Manchester United fans. He's the latest player to be subject to debate. A lot of fans are debating in the sense of he's struggling, he's not good enough for United. Other fans are saying he needs time, he's not being given service. I've been one of the fans who keep saying that Šeško does not receive enough service. And first of all, I want us to look at his profile. What is Šeško all about? And from there, we can now start understanding what is going on at United. Is he being used in the right way and he's not delivering, or is he not being used in the right way and that's why he is not delivering? So it's more of a deep dive, it's more of a discussion, and I want us to get involved as much as we can in the comment section. And in case you're still not hearing what I'm saying, please let me know, because I don't know what's happening to my TikTok today. Yeah, it's okay. YouTube, let me confirm before we go on that YouTube is okay. Go back to live. Let me make sure everything is okay before now I start going to the deep dive. Yeah, everything is okay. Now I'm confident. Henry says that Šeško has poor first touch. We are going to look into all of that in detail, and I'll explain as to why most of the time we see that Sheshko has a poor first touch. I'll get into that because that's also one of the things that a lot of fans are saying about Benjamin Sheshko. So to look at Benjamin Sheshko, we have first to understand who he is. Who is Benjamin Sheshko? What is he all about? And I'll just share this screen first. Just these are my notes. I did the notes just to understand about Benjamin Sheshko. Benjamin Sheshko is one player. I want to exit YouTube here so that I don't consume most of the bandwidth. So Benjamin Sheshko, who is he? So Sheshko, we know that he has the number 30 shirt on. He was given that shirt, and then the position he plays, his best position is center forward. He's a center forward, being a central striker. So he can be CF, FW, ST. That's his preferred and the position in which he has his best performances. But he can also play as an attacking midfielder, a central attacking midfielder. When he was at Leipzig, he used to come deep into midfield and interplay, play with the likes of Openda, and connect with them, then run forward, get the ball, and shoot and score or provide an assist. So his best position is a forward, a center forward. He can also play as an attacking midfielder, central attacking midfielder. He's 22 years old. He's going to be 23 in the end of April this year. He's tall. This guy is tall. He has a huge frame. He's 195 centimeters tall. He's massive. He has a Haaland-esque kind of body, and he's Slovenian. So he's had 39 appearances, goals and assists 11, 10 goals, 1 assist. And then he has a rating of 6.72 based on who scored. So who scored rating, I normally like using who scored because who scored are more reliable compared to apps like FortMob, SofaScore, sorry to say. So I normally use the who scored rating or the FBref rating. More or less, they are the same sort of rating. So that's Benjamin Sheshko in a nutshell in terms of the general profile. He's a young player, 22 years old, yet to reach his prime. He's a forward. He can play as an attacking midfielder. He's tall, 195 centimeters tall, and he's Slovenian. 39 appearances, 11 goals and assists. To break it down, it's 10 goals, 1 assist so far this season, and he has an overall rating of 6.72. What I found interesting is he has a lower rating when starting games than when coming on as a substitute. That's one of the things I found odd. Because when if you see him coming on as let me run it back. When he starts games, if I remember correctly, he had a rating of 6.4 something, but when he comes on as a sub, he has a rating of 6.9. And we've clearly seen the eye test has shown us that Benjamin Sheshko starting off the bench has been more efficient. He has had clutch goals, he has had equalizers and winners. So looking at Sheshko, moving forward now, Benjamin Sheshko's style of play. One of the things that we do need to understand as fans is his style of play, because we do tend to judge a lot. We do tend to judge a lot based on our expectations, but not based on the style of play. It's like, this is what we expect from a striker, but are we judging based on their style of play? For example, we know Cunha's style of play. Will he be ideal playing on the right? So if he's played on the right, are our expectations similar to, let's say, Ahmad and Bumo? So it's something that I believe we should be having at the back of our mind. As much as we have expectations for a player playing in a certain position, there is also their style of play, what they thrive on. So Sheshko, as you see there, Sheshko is more of a vertical, high line striker. He's someone who likes playing vertically. He likes playing in half spaces. He likes playing off the defender's shoulder. He likes getting in between defenders, running in between them, getting a through ball, going into goal and shooting. We are going to look at his hit maps and where he thrived last season at Leipzig compared to this season at United. So the core traits of him, he's elite off ball runs. He has good in behind runs, off the ball runs, off the shoulder of the defender. He gets the through ball, and his shots are very, very dangerous. In fact, Šeško has scored 9 out of the 9 chances he has had from inside the penalty area. So he has had a 100% efficiency in the penalty area. 9 out of 9. So that shows you that with more service, he can actually score more goals. So he's an inside box forward. He is also known to shoot from outside the box. We've seen a couple of marvelous goals, amazing goals he scored from outside the box. But at United, all of his 9 goals are from inside the box. So we also look at his strong aerial presence. We know that he can jump high. That's why he's called Air Šeško. He has a strong aerial presence and a huge frame. He's like a Haaland. He's more or less like Haaland. He has a very, very huge physique. He's strong. He prefers finishing actions. So one thing I noticed about Benjamin Šeško when I was doing this analysis, watching his highlights, is he's someone, yes, who can come short, take the ball, but he's not someone to play 1-2 with. He likes coming short. He gives you the ball, then he starts running forward, expecting a through ball or a ball over the defenders. So he either receives an aerial ball towards the opponent's box, or you give him a through ball. He is fast. He will run to the ball. He has very good dribbling skills, and he likes finishing. So United have a very good finisher. He prefers finishing. He's capable of those channel runs. Channel runs is, for example, he's cutting from the left, going towards the right to receive a through ball and score. I'm going to share some screenshots about that later. He's most dangerous when he's not involved in the build-up play, but attacking the last line. So Šeško is not like a hurricane. He's not like someone who will come short, interplay with the midfielders, and then now get into positions where he can score. He cannot do a job like Hurricane, but it's something that he can work on. It's something that he can improve on as he's growing in that role. So we've seen that based on his core traits, he's someone who's an elite in terms of off-ball runs. He's someone who likes running in between channels, running through the channels, running off the defender's shoulder. For example, a C run, where he runs to make sure that, let me use this hand, he runs to make sure that he's onside, and then when there is a through ball, then he has the pace, he has good acceleration to get onto the ball and shoot. And the fact that he prefers finishing actions more than build-up play, it shows that this is a striker that needs to be getting a lot of passes, a lot of through balls, a lot of aerial balls, because he's good in terms of aerial ability. He's tall, he's physical. Šeško usually wins a lot of his aerial duels. So that's his style of play. So by that, and me saying that, based on our expectations, do we understand how Šeško plays so that we can better judge his ability? We can better judge his role. So, for example, if I can go back to that comment, the comment was saying that Šeško has a poor first touch. Based on his style of play, based on the fact that he likes finishing fast, you can see that he does not prefer build-up play. So that tells you, or that gives you a reason as to why his first touch may be poor. Because one of the things I watched in his highlights while analyzing Šeško for this live is he prefers to have that one-touch pass back to you. He also prefers to have that first touch to turn away from the defender. He's not a person he can't do hold-up play. It's something that he's learning. It's something that he's building up in his core traits. But if you look at Šeško, he tends to receive the ball and direct it towards the side he wants to turn and start running towards goal. But with the United's requirements, we'll see what United need to do to unlock Šeško. He's required to do more of build-up play, which is not his strong suit. So again, style of play and profile. Are United using him to his core strengths? Because we saw that goal United scored in the 4-2 win versus Brighton. The turn he had, just one touch, he turned on the left, he passed to Mbumo cut in and scored. That's one of his core strengths. He can do that perfectly. So that tells you that he needs runners on his side. At Leipzig, he used to have runners on his side. He had Javi Simons on this side and Openda on the other side, and they were making those runs because he tends to touch towards the side he wants the ball to go. But the expectation at United is him to have a fast touch, probably link up with other players without turning to face goal. He likes to quickly turn to face goal and go to finish it. He wants to just go and score. But the way United build up, it's also quite difficult because United tend to play teams that are very compact. They have a low block. So it doesn't give him enough space to have a very good fast touch and turn. So that's also something that Šeško needs to build up on. So let me read a couple of comments before I continue. Let's see. Hello, Mawaristic. Big up, big up. Good to have you back. Let me see the comments here. Kelvin, Kevo, you are saying Šeško is really good. Let's have him. Yeah, today we are going to do a deep dive about Šeško. Kira, you are saying Šeško is very low. I'm interested to know why. The Monk Dolly was asking, which experienced striker will you get to help him out? I will go for someone like Welbeck. I know I have made fun of Welbeck coming back to United, but that's the sort of striker I would go for. He's 34. He's on form. He can play for United. He's a United boy. He has Premier League experience, and he's a poacher. He's a creator. That's the sort of striker I'll go for. Low cost, low risk. You go for Welbeck for like one season. Because if you go for someone like Lewandowski, you're looking at high wages. So based on Premier League experience and someone who understands the pressure of playing for Manchester United, the pressure of playing in the Premier League, I would go for Welbeck. Akira is saying he's not good in anything. That's okay. That's why we are doing the deep dive. After this deep dive, judge better. But don't just say for the sake of saying it because probably you don't like him. That's why we are doing the deep dive. At the end of the deep dive, let's now judge. Let's not use emotion. Let's not use sentiment to judge without actually looking at the facts, without learning about him. For example, as I've said, his style of play. He prefers finishing fast. He's good off the ball runs. He's good in terms of channel runs. So probably the expectations you have of Šeško are different. Probably you expect with every shot he has, he scores. We are also going to look at why it's not working for him at United. Chip 669, I don't know how to pronounce the first name. Is it Jafang or Jafung? Let me say Jafang Chip 69. Big up, big up. You're saying Šeško is a direct striker based on crosses and low balls. Dogu on the left wing will help him a lot, or helped him a lot. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I'm going to prove that point. That's a very good point. Hoyland should return. We need both. There is much pace now. And that's also good. I think having both will be good. Welbeck can be good, maybe on loan, but not permanent. Well, I don't think Brighton will keep him anymore because he's like 34. They will need to move on. Yeah, Welbeck will be even affordable if he's willing to come back. That's true. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Jafang that I would bring Welbeck for a 1-year deal. That's it. Now, let me see whether we have some comments on YouTube. Not yet. Now, moving on to the discussion. Let's see. Sorry. So let's look at his strengths. What are Šeško's strengths? What can he do well? What can Šeško do well? We first look at what he can do well, then we go to what he can do bad or he can't do. As I said, we are doing a deep dive. Be the better judge at the end of this video. So what Šeško's strengths? Elite movement. He's a constant threat behind the lines. He times his runs very well. He has a high defense versus high defensive lines. So, for example, like the Chelsea game where they had high defensive lines, he could perform well. But we didn't see that. Why? Because he was not getting service. In that Chelsea game, Šeško had 18 touches the entire time he played. He had 0 touches in the opponent's box. So that tells you that he's not getting enough service. We have a very good striker who can be a constant threat in terms of breaking high lines, running behind the defenders. He has pace. He has good acceleration. He can get into good positions and score. His physical profile, I've already mentioned, he's like Haaland. He's tall, he's massive, he's muscular, he can be able to bully off defenders. We've seen it already this season, how Šeško, when he has the ball, it's difficult to tackle him. So he has height and pace combo, which is very, very rare. It's very rare to have a striker who has both height and pace. Very, very few profiles. One of them is like Ekitike. Ekitike is tall and he has pace. Isak has pace and he's tall. So Šeško is among the few breeds of strikers who have height and pace. For example, Haaland also has pace. Once he starts running at you, it's very difficult to stop him. So it looks like that's the sort of modern number 9 that we have nowadays. But still, there are very, very few who have that height and pace. So he wins his duels when he's properly supplied. We saw Šeško whenever he's the target man in terms of long balls from Lamens or long balls from defenders, he can be able to leap high, win those duels. He can be able to head it across to Mbumo or Cunha. They run towards it and they score or they create chances. In terms of finishing instincts, he has a very high XG conversion in zones. The 6-yard box, the 6-yard area, the central box. As I've mentioned, inside the box in 2025 Premier League season, 100% of his goals, 9 out of 9, have come from inside the penalty area. So the 9 goals he has scored are from the penalty box. So that means that he's also a poacher. He's someone, if there are cutbacks, if there are crosses, he can actually shoot. And I've read one comment there that he can be good in low crosses, he can be good in through balls. In terms of transition, he can be very, very good. One of the United DNA aspects we keep talking about is transitional football. But that transitional football, we are not seeing the best out of Šeško. Why? I'll explain later. It's because of the sort of profiles that are playing with him. So Šeško is also suffering from the profiles or the profile of players around him. They are not helping him. I'll explain why later. So if we go to his weaknesses, looking at his weaknesses now, let's first look at the heat map first. So you look at the heat map there, look at this season 2025-26 and look at last season 2024-25. Look at the difference in that heat map. You see, Šeško in 2024-25, he used to come in between. He used to be basically in the 18-yard area, 25-yard area, to come short, receive the ball, play the pass either to Xavi Simons or to Openda, then run into the box and shoot. You can even see a similar heat map where we have, I don't know whether my mouse can show, where we have the penalty spot this season is where he was last season. But the key difference here is look at the heat map within the same area, between the center line or the half of this circle in the opponent's half and the top of the D or the top of the box. It's fewer than last season. So that shows you already where Šeško likes operating from. This is someone who likes drifting off the left or the right so that he can create that space to run into the center, off the shoulder runs, off the ball runs. So are United using him to that aspect based on the heat map? No. Based on this heat map, is United are requiring him to be more of an inside box forward. They're also requiring him to like wait for the ball longer and longer and longer. And I'll also highlight why under Amorim it didn't work out for Šeško, but under Carrick somehow it's working. Somehow it's working. It's not perfect, but somehow Carrick is using him a bit better than how Amorim was using him. So as you can see there, the key difference in that heat map is Šeško was popping up in most of the attacking areas, mostly on the right-hand side as well as the left-hand side, and then running into the box to finish those chances. So the example I would give is he comes short, he gets that ball. The Brighton game, you remember that 4-2 Brighton game? He came short, he received the ball, he turned to his left, he passed to Mbumo, and then he started running towards the box to receive the return pass so that he can shoot. But if you look at how United play, most of the time it's dependent on how Cunha, Bruno, and Mbumo decide to pass, decide to play. And I don't want to highlight that issue right now until we get to a point where why Šeško is struggling at United. But based on that heat map, it can show you last season how he performed versus this season how he performed. Where he's popping up last season and this season, you can see there are similarities in terms of this area here. I wish I could draw, and this area here. So that tells you that he needs guys who will run off of him. He needs wingers or fullbacks who will run across so that when he comes short to receive the ball, he likes to have that. His first touch, normally he wants to turn. So if he's decided that he wants this ball to go to the right, he won't get the first touch to stop the ball, then turn. He likes like taking it the first time, then passing. That's why he's very good at transitional football. That's why he's very, very good at transitional football. Now, moving forward, you look at his weaknesses now. I've highlighted some of his strengths, not all. I wish I could have like 2-3 hours of this video to explain everything, but I'm just giving you the key highlights about his weaknesses, his strengths, what he can do, what he can't do. So in terms of the weaknesses, as I've said, link up play, he's still developing. He's not a natural facilitator. He's not like a Bruno. He's not like a Cunha. He's not like an Ahmad. He's not like a Hurricane if I now go to striker profiles. For example, if you look at Haaland, he's also been developing in that aspect of being a facilitator. Haaland is more of a goal scorer. So what City have done is to provide profiles to him that can give him the ball. He's the one that's being facilitated. Because what Haaland does, yes, he receives the ball, but he tends to pass it quickly, then run into those channels to get the pass back. You remember the second goal he scored versus Arsenal yesterday. He did the same. He struggled, got the ball, continued play, then he was just hanging around defensive areas, attacking areas, that is, and he scored. So Šeško can disappear when forced deep. And we've seen it. There are instances where you can't see Šeško in the game. You only get to see him if there is a cross or when he's waiting for a cross, when United have the ball in attacking areas. Low touches in the game. I mentioned in the Chelsea game, he had 18 touches the entire game with 0 touches inside the box, inside Chelsea's box. You look at the derby, he had 19 touches, the Man City derby. He had 19 touches the entire game. So that means that he's not getting enough service and he does not like to be involved a lot in build-up play. He just wants to get the ball and finish. And if the supply is poor, he becomes invisible. We saw it versus Chelsea. If you don't give him the ball, he's nowhere to be seen. As I said, he's not like a Hurricane who will come short to receive the ball, then get involved in the play, go into the box and score. So he's very, very reliant on structure. He needs runners. I've mentioned like he needs wingers who will run off of him on both sides, and he needs creators behind him. We already have one of the best creators in the world in Bruno. But what now Šeško lacks are runners. He does not have overlapping fullbacks. He does not have running wingers. You remember that goal? I'll keep referring to the Brighton goal because that's one of the best examples. Mbumo ran off of him, off the left side. He was able to come short, receive the pass, turn. He created space for Mbumo in behind, and Mbumo cut in, received the ball. He received the ball, cut in, shot, goal. So he needs runners around him. He is not the one to come, pass, and then it's like build up play. He's not like Zaxi. Zaxi is good at coming short. Nipe nikupe, give it to me, I give it to you. Let's build slowly as we are looking for the goal. No, Šeško is like, boom, give me the ball. I'm going straight to the goal to score. So he needs that structure. He struggles versus low blocks. He struggles versus low blocks. And we've seen when Šeško plays against a team that's quite defensively solid, a team that sits deep, he struggles because he needs that space to run into. So how do you use him? Use players that will go to the touchline. For example, the goal that United scored versus Chelsea, the ball went to the touchline, cut back, boom, Bruno cut back to Cunha. Šeško pulled two defenders with him. He created that space for Cunha. Cunha scored. And he did his job. Because that run he made, he was able to create that space. We've seen a couple of goals where I'm trying to remember whether it's the Aston Villa game. He did that run. He went deep. Then he came up top to the penalty spot. He did a turn, shot, goal. He's very good at those off-the-shoulder runs, off-the-ball runs. He's very good at those quick short runs, off-the-shoulder runs, timing the offsides. In fact, if you check, Šeško is among the Premier League players with the fewest offside calls. But he struggles in those low blocks because he needs that space to run. He needs that space to run. So to develop him is keep taking players to the touchline, cut back. When I was doing Šeško's analysis today for this show, I actually realized if Šeško was in that Man City system, he would actually score a lot of goals. Because Man City have those late runners into the box, and they have runners off the wings that get the ball either crossing or cut back. That's the way you break a low block. So that's the weakness he has. Let me read a couple of comments before we proceed. Probably there are guys who are correcting me. Let me see whether we have some comments here. Šeško needs to bulk up, still gets bullied despite his height. Zlatan is his idol. I slightly disagree with you there. Šeško has been good when he has the ball. Like when he has the ball, it's very difficult to take it off of him. Where I agree with you is in terms of when it comes to those duels, like it's a 50-50 ball, he tends to be bullied quickly. But when he gets that ball, when he starts dribbling, it's very, very difficult to get the ball off of him. So, as I said, I slightly disagree in the sense of when he has the ball, when he's already having the ball on feet, it's very difficult to take the ball away from him. But in terms of 50-50 duels, he's not good at it. I agree with you, he gets bullied. Shoulder to shoulder, being shoved, all that. He tends to lose a lot of duels when it's a 50-50 ball. Any other comment before we proceed? Manize. I hope I've remembered how to pronounce your name. Big up. Hey, mate, it's been a minute. Work and family commitments. Same here. Actually, I've just also come back. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to also be able to do these deep dives and discuss about player profiles. Let me see any other comment. Martin Keel, you're saying we cannot put him off. First season, let's give him time with an experienced striker in support. That's very, very true. That's very, very true. United fans tend to be a bit dismissive when it comes to certain players. And Šeško is young. Manize, you're saying that right now in City setup, he wouldn't thrive. Doku and Semenyo don't cross the ball. Really? You're actually laughing because you know it's not true. It's not true. It's not true because those guys, actually, it's not them who usually cross the ball. If you look at how City play, Doku and Semenyo push the ball forward with their dribbles, and then they have late runners in O'Reilly, Bernardo Silva, Ryan Chaki to drop into that box, get the ball, either score or give a cutback, then there is a goal. So Doku and Semenyo are not really crossing the ball. They are actually creating space for late runners into the box. If you remember how O'Reilly missed that chance, it is Doku who ran with the ball. Doku gave the pass back. Then O'Reilly made the late run to the box. He got the ball back, almost scored. But you look at United, they have very good crossers of the ball. For example, Luke Shaw is a very good crosser of the ball. Dalot is a very good crosser of the ball, but they tend not to use Šeško in that respect. So in my view, in that system where Šeško has late runners to the box, he can be able to like ping the ball off of him, have guys running, then he runs into that box because it's the sort of runs Haaland makes. Haaland usually comes short, gets the ball, gives it wide, then starts running to the box. But United don't necessarily play that. They don't usually play that. So you look at how Haaland plays, that's more or less similar style of play. Akins, big up. You're saying, I think our wing backs are not doing good enough in respect to crosses. That's very, very true. And I'll highlight. Unless if City is using different personnel, probably in Savinho or someone else. Yeah, Pep tends to change how the wingers play. If he needs like guys to actually run and just keep crossing, he will do. For example, Savinho is usually brought in just to give a headache to defenders. That's the problem. Bruno alone cannot be the link to assist him. The funny thing is, the Bruno and Šeško link up has had the fewest numbers compared to Bruno Cunha, Bruno Casemiro, and Bruno Mbumo. Bruno Mbumo, I think, was the highest in terms of link up to create chances, then Cunha, I think, then Casemiro. So even Bruno himself, actually, when I was looking at this, when I was doing research, when I was watching highlights, also Bruno does not tend to look for Šeško for some reason. I don't know whether it's because Šeško is in between defenders, because what Šeško likes, he likes standing in between two defenders, but he's not doing that to receive the cross. He's doing that to receive either a low cross or a through pass. And Bruno, we know Bruno rarely does those through balls. He likes the cheap. He likes those sort of cheap passes and crosses. But Šeško usually stands in between two defenders so that he can have that off the shoulder. If you look at him, the way he stands, if the ball is on the right, he's usually like standing in between and he's like showing, give me the ball in that space. And I will show you a screenshot of that. Could you point out the areas of Šeško's game where you think he needs to improve? Yes, that's where I'm heading to next. Cunha Ahmad Mumo always cuts in and shoot instead of locating the top. Akins, why are you giving away my notes? And they had prepared. Anyway, let me go to there next. Let me go to that one next, because that's where I was going to. I like the fact that now we are starting to interrogate. We are starting to actually put sentiment away and investigate, do a deep dive on Šeško. For example, Premium has asked a very good question. Areas where he can improve. I don't like this aspect where someone comes and says, Šeško is not good enough. Then you ask, okay, why? Fast touch. And that's it. And I've explained. I've actually done research as to why his fast touch is not good, and I've explained. One of his weaknesses is not having a good link-up play. He does not like it. He likes finishing. He prefers finishing and not link-up play. But link-up play, one of the reasons why, I don't know whether... Yeah, I said, let me project this. This is what I said when it comes to his link-up play. He's still developing. He's 22. Remember, guys, he's only 22. He's getting to 23 this season. So let's look at his best position. So as we are going towards why he's struggling and what he needs to improve, what United need to improve, let's now start looking at what he can do much deeper. So his ideal role as a central striker in a 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3. For example, most of the time at Leipzig, he was playing in a 4-4-2 or in a 4-3-3. So the 4-4-2, the second striker was Openda. Openda was the second striker. When it was a 4-3-3, it was Xavi Simons, himself, Šeško, and Openda. And that's where they used to thrive. They had similar numbers instead in form of GAs. Simons, Openda, Šeško, they normally had similar numbers. So he's good playing on the shoulder. As I said, he likes sitting in between two strikers so that he can get the ball in that space. He has very good acceleration. In terms of takeoff speed, Šeško is very good. So give him the ball in that space, he will attack that space, and he usually doesn't think twice. He just shoots at goal. You remember the couple of chances he shot? Some of them went just wide. Like the post is here, it just goes wide, or they hit the post. So he's very good at that quick transition in terms of him getting the ball, turning and shooting. What he is not ideal in, Amorim system. So I want to open up the notes about Carrick and Amorim so that we understand why he didn't work out for him under Amorim system. I couldn't have it in this slide or presentation. So as a lone striker in Amorim system, it was very, very, very rigid. Very, very rigid. Because in the 3-4-2-1, it was geared more towards a fluid setup, but it required the striker to be more rigid in where their positioning is. So the striker is like not allowed to come short, take the ball, as well as the two number 10s were stifling the striker. So the Amorim system, when it came to the striker, it was very, very rigid. And I found this interesting because my thinking was Amorim would play Šeško similar to how he played Gyökeres. But yet again, I went and did research and I found out that actually Gyökeres most of the time was playing off the shoulder as well. And the two 10s were required to always supply Gyökeres in spaces. So the ball is a through ball. It's not a direct ball. Most of the time it was like give him the ball, he runs towards the ball and shoots. So my notes app has lagged. My notes app has lagged. Let's see. Yeah, it's back. So I want to get the I don't want to lie. I would rather read what I wrote down than lie. So let me get the points about Amorim system and why it didn't work out for Šeško. Where is this? Why is this? Yeah, so under Amorim, he had only 2 goals in 16 games. Of course, we know that Šeško, he came to the club late. He really didn't have a preseason with the club. And then he also had an injury. He started playing that, then got another injury. United started playing fewer games because they were not in the Carabao Cup. So he hadn't gotten a lot of chances to play. And as I said, in Amorim's system, it was heavily dependent at United. It was heavily dependent on the 2 number 10s. The 2 number 10s that United have like cutting in, shooting. They don't like cutting in and passing. They like actually shooting themselves. So not shooting themselves like shooting themselves on the foot, but shooting at goal. Shooting at goal. So you look at that system. So the target man had the back to goal. Actually, it's there. So when Šeško is receiving the ball, he's facing his own goal. But you look at Šeško's strengths. In the Amorim system, he's receiving the ball back to goal. He's facing United's goal. His back is facing the opponent's goal. But where he thrives is he's actually like, let me have this on the full screen. It's like he's angled in this way. Let's say he wants the ball this side. So just pass it to space. He meets the ball, he shoots. And that's how Victor Gyökeres used to play at Sporting. And it's a similar problem that Victor Gyökeres is facing at Arsenal. He's receiving the ball with his back to goal, which is not good. So, looking at why is he actually struggling? So early in the season, as I said, scored 2 goals in 16 games. But benefit of the doubt is he didn't start the season well. He didn't play a couple of games. And when he came on, he still didn't perform because he took a lot of time to settle. He came to a new country, new club. He got injured. The team was not quite settled. So he only scored 2 goals. But under Carrick, he has seen a quick upturn in form. He has scored 6 goals in the last 7 appearances, which is a very, very good return. So overall, he has 9 goals in 28 games, and that's in the Premier League. In the FA Cup, he scored 1 goal. So what does that translate? When we see those points, early on in the season, he didn't have a good return. Carrick comes in, he sees an upturn in output, and then the overall goal. So basically, he's system dependent. He has been system dependent. So the struggling narrative comes down to 2 things: his role and the structure mismatch. So what do I mean by structure mismatch? Structure mismatch is where it comes down to, as I said, wingers that are running off of him, fullbacks or wingbacks that are running, crossing the ball, or he can be able to provide fullbacks the ball. He gets into that box, shoots and scores. So what we are having at the moment is the problem of the wingbacks, the fullbacks are not doing their job to support the striker in terms of running off of him, running off of wingers, overlapping runs to cross the ball, low crosses, high crosses, cutbacks. Also, the wingers are not getting the ball, moving to the touchline for a cutback, a low cross, a high cross. So Šeško is very system dependent, and also he needs the right profiles around him. So when we look at why he's struggling, as I've said, a rigid system. Under Amorim, the system was very rigid. We all said it, we all know it. So the system didn't quite have a lot of width. Remember, in Amorim's 3-4-2-1 system, the width was provided by the wingbacks. But if we are honest, one of the wingbacks in Ahmad is more like Mbumo. He likes cutting in, shooting with his left foot, fewer crosses. The crossing angles were not there. So when United cross, even now, when United tend to cross the ball, they are crossing it far away from the touchline. And that resulted in only 2 goals in 1,404 minutes. So as you can see, under Amorim, he didn't quite play a lot of minutes because, as I said, started the season late, got injuries, he was derailed. He didn't have a preseason with United. So what was he asked to do under Amorim? He was asked to hold up play, which is not his strength. We've actually seen one of his weaknesses is holding play, link-up play, in terms of coming short, taking the ball, asking for it, the way Zaxi does it, the way Hurricane does it. That's not his strong suit. He's developing in it, and we are seeing he's developing, but he does not prefer it, but he's willing to grow in it. Then combine centrally, which is not his game. So in that 3-4-2-1 system, as I said, Cunha cuts in, Mbumo cuts in. So you have 3 players centrally. So Šeško is like in no man's land. Where does he run? Also, the players with the ball, they are now confused. Do I give it to Cunha? Do I give it to Mbumo? Do I give it to Šeško? Because all of them are like close to each other. Looking at his heat map, you saw where Šeško thrives. I was looking at his analysis on the coach's voice, and they were saying that when Šeško was going short, basically, let's say he was going to the left side to get that ball from deep, he had Openda on the other side, or Simmons, and then the Openda in the center. But they had spaces in between them. So he could get that ball, pass it to one of them, then he starts running towards the box, expecting that pass back. Actually, there is one highlight I watched where he got the ball on the left-hand side, he ran, and he just shot towards goal. There is another one, he did it as well on the right-hand side. He received, as I said, his first touch away from the defender, started running towards goal, and he has pace with the ball, and he shot. But now under Amorim, he was asked to do more of hold-up play, because under Amorim's system, as I said, heavily dependent on the 2 10s. Hold-up play, give it to Mbeumo or Cunha, they go in and score. So no man's land. And that's why also Højlund struggled, because he was asked to do the same thing. So Šeško was asked to combine centrally with the 2 number 10s. That system was very rigid and it was not helping Benjamin Šeško. So number 2, looking at the second thing, why he's struggling, the root causes. It's not all of them, but the major ones. As I said, poor winger profiles. I've mentioned it. We know it. We've mentioned it. Some of us have mentioned it in the comment section. Inside forwards like Cunha, Mbeumo, they like cutting in. They don't like going wide, providing crosses, providing cutbacks, providing low crosses. They don't do that. So United lack natural width. You look at the players we have, I think it's only one player who can do that, and that's Dogu when he plays as a winger. Dalot can also do it, but we know quite often Dalot does not bomb forward to give those crosses. Furthermore, of late, United have been depending on Bruno to give the ball to Cunha, to give the ball to Mbeumo, so that they can cut in, shoot, and score. And what I'm sad about when it comes to Šeško is the front line, the 3 players playing behind him, don't quite understand how to play with him, which begs the question, how do they train with Šeško? Because you look at Cunha, when he gets the ball, he's not even thinking about looking for Šeško. He's thinking about cutting in and shooting, similar to Mbeumo. You look at Bruno, whenever he has the ball, by the time he's looking up, Cunha and Mbeumo have also gone into the same areas as Šeško to wait for the ball to score. So Mbeumo is looking for a goal, Cunha is looking for a goal, and the 3 of them are supposed to provide Šeško with the service. So what's the effect? No crosses, no cutbacks, no early balls in behind. So the balls in behind is where, as I said, Šeško likes sitting in between 2 defenders, give that ball behind him, behind the defenders, he can run towards it, shoot, score. Fullback limitations, we've mentioned. Less attacking fullbacks, which means fewer overlapping runs, reduced width. So United have been playing quite narrow. United have been playing quite narrow. It's like, as I said, Cunha gets the ball, drifts in. Mbeumo gets the ball, drifts in. So what should happen? I think I also mentioned it in which game? Is it the Leeds game? After the Leeds game, I said, if those 2 cut in, then you need the fullbacks to overlap. But yet again, even if the fullbacks overlap, Cunha and Mbeumo tend to like to shoot. They like to shoot. They like to cut in and shoot. So when you look at that sort of profiles playing with Šeško, as much as we say Šeško is not good enough, where Šeško needs to improve, also the players around him need to improve, because Šeško is not getting enough service. It's quite concerning that a striker gets 18 touches a game, 19 touches a game. Some games are even fewer. On average, Šeško has 19 touches. So he's not getting enough service. He's not getting crosses. He's not getting through balls. His runs are being wasted. I'm going to show you a screenshot of how his runs can be effective. So it all boils down also to how are United using Benjamin Šeško? Are the profiles around him the right profiles to unlock him? So let me read some of the comments as we are thinking about that. Is it a case where United bought the wrong striker based on profile? Or is it the case that United bought the right striker but don't know how to use him? Let's discuss as I'm taking a breather before we go on. So, let's see some of the comments. Let's see. A couple of comments, a lot of comments. Let me just scroll all the way up. Yeah. Premium 26, you're saying, am I the only one who sees that his positioning and movement during attacks is lacking a lot? Actually, no. His movements and based on the research I've done, because as I've said before this, I actually watched a couple of his analysis. I've gone on to the coach's voice. I've gone on to other coaching platforms, other analysts to actually dig and see what they are saying. So I wanted to approach it from a point of facts. And actually, I'll show screenshots of his runs and how they are effective at United and at Leipzig. Šeško makes runs, but what United do, they delay with the ball. They either take an extra touch, an extra dribble, or they pass it sideways. So I sort of understand why Premium you're saying that his positioning and his runs are lacking. It's because Šeško makes runs. Actually, what I will ask of you to do in the next 5 games, if he plays, check how he does his runs. He does his runs early enough, good enough, but he does not get the ball. So what you will see is when he's coming back to the position to ask for the ball again. Most of the time, actually, when I was watching his highlights, you see that he's running, but Bruno or Cunha decide to either take a dribble or pass it sideways. That's what most of the time they do. So his positioning is good. As I've said, he likes sticking between 2 defenders. Why? Because he wants to draw the defenders towards him. He gets that ball over them into space. He runs into that space and scores. Now, one thing I've also said, he's developing in terms of playing against low blocks. He does the same. He pulls defenders with him, then comes into space, shoots, scores. He did that. I'm trying to remember which game he turned and scored. Was it the Crystal Palace game? I'm trying to remember. So he can do it. He just needs someone to understand his runs. Because Šeško does make those runs. The other thing I've said is, when United have the ball, I've seen it a couple of times. Let's say when Dalot has the ball or Ahmad has the ball on the right, you find that Mbeumo is in the box, Cunha is in the box, and they are close to him. So which run is he going to make? Which position is he going to take? So are the other players allowing him to be in positions where he can score? So look at even the crosses that have been placed into the box. You will see that Cunha, Mbeumo, Šeško are usually in the same area. They're usually in this, it's like they are close to each other. So it makes defending easy. Even 2 defenders can defend it. So when United have the ball, they don't give it to Šeško early enough. So he makes the run, he can't make the run anymore. By the time he's coming back, that's what probably we are seeing, that he's not in a good position anymore. Okay. Because I've seen Bruno coach him so many times on the pitch on where he should have positioned himself, Bruno will complain even if he makes a mistake. Bruno will always complain. He will give a wrong pass, then he will tell you, you did not go where I wanted you to be. There are many, many times. In fact, just watch that Chelsea game. Watch that Chelsea game again. You will see the sort of run Šeško was making. Then Bruno is delaying with the ball. He's doing his hand like this, and then he's trying like, he wants to chip, then he passes to Cunha. Cunha gets the ball, his head is down. Šeško has made the run, Cunha, his head is down, he's dribbling. So he doesn't get the ball. So, as I said, it's a matter of understanding how he plays. Bruno cannot force Šeško to change his game. It is Bruno to adjust to Šeško. Bruno is the creative outlet. So he can't really instruct or coach the striker where to be. It is the striker who should be telling him, this is where I need the ball. I've seen it Kane do it. I've seen Haaland do it. I've seen Haaland going to Chucky and telling Ryan Chucky, this is where I want you to give me the ball. I've seen Haaland go to Semenyo and tell him, this is where I want you to cross the ball. It shouldn't be the other way around. Like the creative player is the one who's telling the striker, this is where I want you to go. That's my opinion. Because Šeško is very good off the shoulder runs, but United delay with the ball too much. Manize, you are saying, I really subscribe to the school of thought. Šeško has no crosses in Cunha and Mbeumo. Yes, that's a really, really, really big problem. I think United, Rosafi is saying, I think United need to really invest in real wingers and switch to a rigid 4-4-2. That can work. Premium 26, you're saying, do you remember of any scenario where anyone could have passed him the ball well positioned but didn't? Because as I said, number one, we have 3 players that are looking to shoot. 3 players that are looking to shoot. And Bruno does not want to give through balls. You ask me if I remember the last time he got the ball in the right position. I'll ask you, when's the right time Bruno gave a through ball to a striker? When is the last time our most creative outlet, Bruno, has given a through ball to a striker? Very few times. And as I said, it's because United are playing more centrally. Bumo cuts in, Cunha cuts in, Bruno is already in the center, Šeško is already in the center. So also Bruno himself will be confused. And most of the time we check Šeško when he's receiving the ball. We don't check on him when the ball is like with Casemiro, with Bruno, and with what's his name, Kobe. So I'm coming out strongly to defend him because it's something that I've actually researched on. Because I was asking myself, how can a striker have 18 touches in a game? How can he have less than 30 touches in a game? So I actually went in, looked at other analysts, what they are saying, looked at screenshots, looked at videos, and actually you see he's in the right position based on his profile. So it comes down to a mismatch of profile and a matter of the strikers the 3 creative players not supporting him. The job of those 3 is to support the striker. First, that's their first option. Their second option is when the striker is not available, they can score. Case in point, the Chelsea game. Šeško did his job. His positioning was right, not to receive the ball, but his positioning in terms of pulling defenders away from that area, he did his job. So actually, Premium, what I would recommend, what I would advise is, please take some time, and everyone else who's also watching, listening, please take some time, go watch the United games. If you have MUTV, if you have, there are also pages online that show the full game. Just check Šeško's runs. Most of the time he runs, he does not get the ball. And he's making very, very good runs. Very, very good runs. Very, very good runs. Rosav, you are saying the last United winger or crosser was Ashley Young. Yeah, that's true. United 254. True, Šeško is being wasted by the players. He's definitely tall, clinical, and fast. It was Fulham. Yeah, thanks for the correction. Versus Fulham. Yes. You remember him coming. He pulled the defenders. Then he came to space, turned, and crossed. Yeah, thanks for the correction. So a username called TikTok on TikTok says you also need to utilize Šeško's height for clinical crosses. For headers, that's very true. For me, if Bruno can't see that you are well positioned to score, then who will? What I will say about Bruno is, as I said, Bruno will make a wrong pass, then blame you for not being the right position. There are a couple of times where Bruno could have given Šeško through balls, but he didn't. And also, as I said, he needs to understand how Šeško plays. It's like now Man City, it's like someone like Ryan Chaki telling Haaland, this is where I want you to be. I will give you the ball there. That's not the right attitude to have. That's the first thing I would say. For example, when Robin van Persie came to United, in fact, the United players, I remember there is an interview that the United players did. I think it was Evra who said it. He said, Ferguson was so mad with the team because they were not giving Van Persie the ball. Van Persie was telling them where he wants the ball. The players were telling him where he needs to be to get the ball. Then Ferguson told them, you need to give this guy the ball. If he wants the ball on the right, give him there. So I don't understand this notion of Bruno telling Šeško where to be. No, he will change his game. That's not his profile. That's not his style of play. It's like now Šeško going to tell Bruno, take lower risks. Take lower risks. I don't want you to take more risks. I want you to be sure with your pass what will happen to Bruno. Šeško's strength is positioning. Bruno's strength is risk taking. So both of them, they are paid millions per year to play football. They should have an understanding of how to play with each other. So taking the example of Robin Van Persie, Ferguson told them, give this guy the ball. Then Van Persie, you could see him pointing where he wants the ball and used to get it. And all of a sudden, Van Persie started scoring bangers. All of a sudden, I'll give another example. When Chicharito was playing, he was not getting similar balls to how Rooney was getting. Chicharito, the sort of balls he was getting were very, very different. The sort of passes, very, very different. So it is the creator who should be asking the striker, where do you want the ball? It shouldn't be the creator telling the striker where the ball will go. Manize, you're saying UKG, kudos to you. I watch Ben make runs and he doesn't get picked by suppliers. Yes. And this is someone who goes to Old Trafford to watch games. Manize goes to Old Trafford to watch games. So he's talking about real life experience. We watch it on the TV. He watches it at Old Trafford. And I'm telling you guys, Šeško makes runs. Benji makes runs, but he doesn't get the passes. I can't even remember the last time Bruno gave a through ball to a striker. Whether it's Mbumo, whether it's Šeško. I'm trying to remember when the last time we actually saw Cunha Mbumo, Bruno giving a through ball to Šeško. There was actually a time when Šeško was calling for the through ball, calling. By the time he's receiving, he's already been covered by the defender. He gets the ball, he shoots wide, and then everyone is on Šeško's back. And he asked for that ball very early. But what happens? Cunha has his head down, he's dribbling while looking down. Bruno is dribbling as he's pointing. No. You are the one to ask the striker, okay, next time, where do you want the ball? Tell me. My job is to give you assists. Where do you want it? Oh, you want it in this space? I'll make sure you get it. That's why I keep saying, as much as we love Bruno, before he gets to Kevin De Bruyne's levels, I don't know. I love Bruno to bits, trust me. But KDB was like that. You could see him having a discussion with Aguero, like, Unataka, what do you want? The same way United players used to go to even Zlatan. You could see Zlatan shouting at them like, this is where I want the ball. What are you guys doing? Then Bruno does actually give Zlatan the ball, and Zlatan scores. Yeah. Zlatan went to Pogba. You remember that West Ham game? The West Ham game that Zlatan scored from the touchline. That game I remember very well. Zlatan and Pogba were having a fight because Pogba was trying to shoot, score, and Zlatan is telling him, this is where I want the ball. Then eventually he got it. Yeah. Most of those runs don't appear on camera. Yeah. They don't. Yeah. The last time Bumo gave service to Šeško was versus Everton. That was how many months ago? Carrick was the master in finding spaces and through balls. He should coach the players more. That's true. Zlatan has not played with Bruno. Sorry. I meant Pogba, not Bruno. I meant Pogba, not Bruno. That's why I said Pogba. I corrected myself mid-sentence. So Zlatan was having a feat with Pogba, not Bruno. That's why I've corrected myself mid-sentence. I apologize, slip of the tongue. So they were having a fight in that West Ham game, and eventually United actually came out as victorious. So thanks for the correction. Leon. Thanks for the correction. I also corrected myself midway and said Pogba. Yeah, so moving on. I'm telling you, doing a live, it's not as a recording. You know, live, when you make a mistake, it's a live mistake. It's a live mistake. So let's move on. let's go now to the last reason as to why Šeško is struggling at United. Inconsistent starting role, that will always affect players. I will tell you for a fact that players that have not had consistent game time and need consistent game time to be good players, one of them is Ugarte. The other person is Joshua Zirkzee. The other person is Benjamin Šeško. That's what happens. There are players when they don't get consistent time. Another player is Mazraoui. Mazraoui, with consistent game time, he plays better and better and better. I'll draw a reference to our former players, Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial, with every game he was playing week by week, game by game, consistently in terms of consecutive games, he was improving game by game by game. There are players who will just come in and improve and play. For example, Martinez will come from injury, he will play well. Maguire will come from injury, play well. But the other players who need that rhythm, they need to play consistently to get that rhythm. So Šeško is one of them. So he's often used as a substitute, that is, and which is hard to build rhythm. Remember, strikers are not like midfielders. They rarely touch the ball. Unless they go into midfield and get involved, strikers wait for service. So if they don't get service, their confidence goes down, on top of them not starting games. As I said, Anthony Martial, when he started playing games consistently, even as substitutions, he used to come in as a sub. He started improving. And that's why you saw Rashford and Martial were improving, because both of them also with consistent game time, they improve. Now, what Manchester United must do, Premium, you asked me the question, the areas that Šeško, and I will add the areas that United need to improve on. Play more vertical football. Reduce the sideways passing. One thing that frustrates me with this United team under Erik ten Hag and Amorim, and more so under Carrick, because now Carrick has brought an element of that back. Sideways passing. There's usually a lot of sideways passing. Like United are attacking. You find that Cunha drives all the way close to the touchline, then he passes back. Then Luke Shaw passes to, let's say, Maguire. Maguire passes to Euro. Then he now starts becoming sideways. Comparing it to how Leipzig played, comparing it to how United used to play, once that is like an attacking threat, they make sure that it's vertical, like it's going towards goal. For example, Cunha, when he gets to that position, he shouldn't be looking for Luke Shaw now. He should be looking for whether Šeško has already made the run to the box. There's actually one header that Šeško scored that way. He got the ball early, he scored. So faster transitions in play, reduce the sideways passing, reduce the short passing. The unfortunate thing, the profiles we have, some of the players like short passes. For example, Kobe Mainu likes playing short. He likes playing those short passes, building short. Bruno also likes the short 1-2s, then create the chance. So that delay wastes the strikers' runs. So early passes into the channels, like pass in between the defenders. Footballers have a skill that's very, very rare in this world. When you're watching it on the TV, you are looking at that ball go past a defender, you're like, the defender just needs to stretch his foot, gets it. But most of the time they don't. You find that they don't even bother stretching their foot to get it, because it's like looping, it's like going round them. So those sort of through balls, try as many as possible. What I would wish is United try to hit that channel as many times as possible. One of the reasons why teams like Barcelona, teams like Bayern, teams like Man City are successful in terms of scoring goals, they keep trying the same pattern. And opponents know that they will try the same pattern. They just have variations a bit, but they always have the same pattern. Like City, we always know pass, late run to the touchline, cut back, late runners, goal. They've always done that for years. Opponents are ready for it, but they still can't handle it. But with United, most of the time when they get to that final third, the 25-yard area of the opponents, defensive area, they start passing it sideways, sideways, sideways. It gets clogged across. Defenders take it easily. So they should try to hit those channels, play through the channels. So people like Cunha, Mbumo, they should try as much as possible to reduce dribbles, because also Cunha carrying the ball delays the pass to Šeško. By the time Šeško does the run, he's already covered by the defender. So take advantage of Šeško's pace. Increase width. Wide wingers. Right now, United are playing too centrally. Why? All of them are cutting in. Mbumo, Cunha, Ahmad, they like cutting in. Reduce build-up burden, as I said. Don't keep asking him to come short, receive the ball, pass it off. Sometimes just play through the channels. More crosses, more cutbacks. I've already said that. Then give him more game time, more starting role. Build his confidence. Yes, United is a top. It's not a top club. It's a big club. Pressure is there, but give him more game time. It's quite unfortunate that it's only one game a month now. Let's say one game a month. So it's difficult to give him game time. So that's how United can unlock Šeško. Vertical football, avoid a lot of sideways passing. You see how Leeds played? That's more vertical football. How Leeds played versus United, that's the sort of vertical football I'm talking about. Tanaka could get the ball deep in their defensive area. One pass goes all the way to the winger. United used to do it. Scholes has a ball, pings the pass all the way to the wing. It either finds Gary Neville, it either finds Nani, it either finds Beckham when he was playing, it either finds one of those wingers. Giggs, immediately, boom. By the time the defenders are organizing themselves, the striker is in on goal. Easy goal. Easy goal. So those are some of the things that United need to do to unlock Šeško. Now, look at this. We are saying that he doesn't make runs. Let me read the comments first before we get to that screenshot. Now, I want to give proof, not just texts. I also want to give proof. But let me read some of the comments. I'm always wondering, United 254, you're asking, I'm always wondering why we don't utilize Šeško's height, brav. As I've explained, lack of width, too much sideways football, too slow in transition, very few vertical play. Just if you remember how Leeds played versus United, that's the sort of football that Šeško could thrive in. Yes, you can have a few of the sideways passes, but quickly ping it to the wings, go to the touchline, cut back or cross, or even cross from deep. Šeško has acceleration. That guy can accelerate quickly. He's like Haaland. You know, when Haaland gets on his bike, it's very difficult to stop him. Very, very difficult. You can compare Šeško to the likes of Haaland, Kane, RVP, or Zlatan. Their aggression alone. Did you mean you can't or I can? Premium. Leon, you are saying you are responding to United 254. He's strong aerially. Yes, he is. That's one of his strengths. We've mentioned that. Manize, you are saying we may need a different kind of wingers. Surely, Mbuma and Cunha are great forwards, but don't cross. That's true. That's true. Sorry. Premium, you are saying the aggression alone give you confidence to give them the ball in any position. Now, I want you to look at those names. Premium, look at those names. You are referring to a prime Kane, a prime RVP, and a prime Zlatan. Šeško is 22. He's growing his game. You can't expect a 22-year-old to perform like a 28-year-old or a 26-year-old. He's still learning. He's still learning. If you want to compare him to Haaland, it's like comparing a human being to an angel. Haaland is just one in a million. Hurricane, how long did Hurricane take to become the Hurricane we know? Haaland is a freak of nature. Haaland is, it's like saying, it's like comparing Ahmad to Cristiano Ronaldo. Haaland is 1 in a billion sort of a striker. So we can't really compare Šeško with Haaland. Haaland is just Haaland. He's a freak of nature. He's alien to human. It's like comparing Ahmad to Messi or Ahmad to Cristiano. Those are also not even close. Actually, there are players who've played with even Cristiano and Messi. They are good, but you can't even compare the two. So Šeško is young. Give him time. He's come to a new league. He didn't have preseason. He's gotten into a team that's confused about the 3-4-1-2. Midway through the season, the system has changed. The coach has changed. The demands are different. So comparing him to a prime Kane, a prime RVP, in fact, Robin van Persie, before he hit his prime, what happened to him when his career was starting? Harry Kane was on loan, I believe, at Southampton. By the time we get to the Harry Kane we've all known, how old was he? He also took his own path. Every player has their own path, similar to us human beings. There are guys who will make their first million while they are teenagers. There are guys who will make their first million when they retire. Probably it will come from their pension. So Šeško also has a different path. Furthermore, look at the teams they were playing for. You can't compare the current United team to the Arsenal team that RVP played for. Even the team that the United team Zlatan played for is much better than the current United team. That team won the Europa League. This team did not. That team beat a very informed Ajax. This team failed to beat a relegation level team. So you also need to consider those factors. RVP played in a very good squad with Rooney, and all those players were there. Šeško is not. In fact, the only top player we can say is Bruno, and then try to debate whether the others are top players. So, yeah, it's true. You can't compare. You can't compare because there are very many parameters to consider. RVP took time before he became a top striker. Kane took time. Zlatan has played all over. He's played for big teams. He played in great teams. You look at Haaland, as I said, he's a freak of nature. As I said, it's like comparing a human being to an angel. It's like, because Haaland is just a league of his own. And then he's played also in good teams. He's playing in a good team. Let me see some other comments. Always a red. You're saying I'm enjoying things. This big up. Thanks for the compliment. And you're saying that United fans are divorced from patience. Ben is 22, new in England and playing for a monster club. Yeah, that's true. That's true. This Šeško scored 17 goals last season. 17. Arsenal wanted him. Liverpool wanted him. Other big clubs wanted him. You know? In fact, Šeško was Arsenal's first choice. Šeško was Liverpool's first choice, but he rejected them. So we need to be patient. It's like how United fans are also are impatient with Euro. Euro is 20 years old. As I said, expectations, very high. Very, very high. Isaac Mishanti, you're saying, I think Šeško will succeed at United. Let's be patient. That's true. United 254, big up again. You're saying with Vardy on the Leicester bench. Yes. Yeah, not Southampton. He was at Leicester. Yes. Again, thanks for the correction. There is a photo of Harry Kane sitting with Vardy on the bench. I think there was also an Arsenal player on that bench. I remember that photo. Who was on the bench? There was also an Arsenal player. Was it Wilcott? Was it Walcott? Sorry, Walcott. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I still maintain we need to sign technical players in the summer and versatile ones. Thank you for saying that. I agree with Manize. Now, Let's continue. We've taken a lot of time. I thought I could cover all this in an hour. Now I want to share this screenshot. I want to share this screenshot so that we see that run. Look at that, guys. Just look at that. The player has the ball. I'm trying to see the photo is a bit pixelated, but let's assume it's Ahmad or Mbumo. Look at the run Šeško is making. As I said, he likes being in between two defenders. Look at the space ahead of him. Look at this space here, just close to the D. So this, let's say Mbumo just needs to make that low cross. Šeško has already beaten this defender and this defender, because this defender here will need to slide to get to the ball, or the goalkeeper needs to come for the ball. He has already beaten this defender, so he has all this space to navigate. If he doesn't get a chance to shoot, he can win a free kick, he can win a penalty. Look at that. He makes these runs, continuously makes these runs, but they are not spotted. As I told you, what normally happens, assuming this is Mbumo, he will go all the way here, then try to cut back, to cut in, to shoot. Or these defenders will close him down, then he will pass back to Kobe Mainu or to Bruno. So they've wasted this Šeško's run. They've wasted it. And you see here, same movement. Oh, sorry. Mbumo was on this side. Let's assume the other side was Ahmad. The photo is pixelated. I can't see well. So look at that. First touch, shoots, scores. Same run. Same run. Gets the ball where I was saying. You look at this dotted line. Gets the ball in that space. First touch, shoots, go. This guy makes these runs continuously, but he's not spotted. Look at Mbumo. He's asking for the ball. So he expects Šeško to take it and pass, which is still okay. So those are the sort of runs that Šeško makes. Yeah, I think this one is Ahmad. So Ahmad makes that pass. Šeško is running to the box. By the time the defenders are closing him down, he's in space. Shoots. Vertical football. Going towards the box. That's the Šeško that United need to unlock. So as much as we are saying Šeško needs to improve, I'm not saying he's perfect. He's not. He has a lot of things to improve on, like link-up play, fast touch, all those things. But at the same time, United need to maximize on his strengths. Look at this one. When he was playing at Leipzig. This is, let me just give a disclaimer. This screenshot I got from WeScout. You can see their logo down there. So look at the same thing, same movement. That Fulham game. This was last year. Šeško is running to that space. He's running to this space here. So he runs, he pulls the defenders. So these defenders are thinking that he'll get the ball to this space here. So what does Šeško do? Makes this run, comes to this space. So this player just needs to make the through ball there. Look at this player here. Šeško can get the ball, place it here. This player runs. Šeško runs towards the box. Easy goal. How many times have we seen United in this sort of scenario? Now let's discuss as fans. How many times have we seen United in this scenario here? Similar scenarios. But they waste Šeško's run. That's what they usually do. So you look at Šeško here. He receives the ball. And he will score. Now, this is a situation in terms of low blocks. This is the situation in terms of the low block. Look at where Šeško is. Look at Openda. Look at Xavi Simons. So Šeško will get the ball. He will pass it here to Xavi Simons. It's just that I was avoiding to take videos because of copyrights, being blocked because of copyrights. Look at this. He gets the ball, as I said. He likes touching it to the direction where it needs to go. He likes playing that one-touch pass. If Javi Simons get the ball here, he has options. He can come into this space, shoot, or he can give Šeško a through ball, shoots. And those are the sort of scenarios that United don't take advantage of. They are playing against a low block. Look at Šeško, well positioned. But what United usually do, Schlager will just pass to Raum. So Bruno or Kobe will pass to Luke Shaw. Assuming Simons is Cunha, Cunha comes short to get the ball. Cunha gets the ball. Cunha passes back to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw passes back to Casemiro or Kobe. Kobe passes it to the other side. Then they just keep switching the ball around. But look at this, decisive. This Schlager just passes it to Šeško. Šeško gives it to Simon, and it ended up being a goal. But what do United do? As I said, take the ball. This guy will give it to Raum passes it back, or even it goes all the way back to the center back. They start recycling play. And then now these three are still here on this line, on top of the box, waiting for the cross. Tell me I'm wrong. Guys, tell me whether I'm wrong. Tell me whether I'm wrong in my analysis. Oh, it was Bruno who gave him the pass. Thanks. The photo is pixelated, so I couldn't see well. Thanks for reminding me. So, guys, tell me whether I'm wrong on that. Because that's how United play. That's how United have been playing. They just keep waste runs. And I've shown you the Fulham screenshot of how vertical football can be effective with this striker. So, some comments. Marcus Rashi, you are saying Ahmad needs to master it. Mbumo is better. He easily takes the run. This is United 254 saying this is why I say Amorim was never the problem. It's such individual mistakes he actually didn't win. That's true. That's true. United 254, you're saying I was really shouting for the cross and it didn't come. Yeah. So that's the problem when it comes to Šeško. That's why I said, let's do a deep dive. I actually took time to do a deep dive, interrogate, investigate what's actually happening. Because we can't just say, oh, he's slow. I saw fans saying he's slow. Other fans saying he doesn't have a good touch. Other fans saying he's not clinical. Other fans saying that he's not positioning himself well. I've shown you two situations this season and last season, similar to how United end up attacking. And I've even told you, like, in this situation, let me bring the screenshot back. Let me just bring the screenshot back of how United play. I wish I could show actual clips, but because of copyrights, I can't. So in this situation, I hope you guys are seeing the green dot or the blue dot. Schlager, assuming this is Kobe, they will pass to Luke Shaw. Cunha will come short. He finds that he can't turn. Pass it back to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw starts recycling it. But these guys, what they did, look at this gap here. This guy has done his job. He's pulled this defender. Šeško has come short. He was here in between. As I said, Šeško light sitting in between two defenders. Comes short. He will receive the ball. He will give it to Javi Simons. Javi Simons has all this space. So if this defender closes in, he has option. Raum will make this run. Openda can stick. Šeško can run into the penalty spot. So he has three options. Actually, four. He can turn and shoot. He can turn and pass into this space because this defender will definitely close him down. This defender will close him down. This defender will be caught in between. Do I go to Šeško? Do I go to Openda? So Šeško will have this space. Openda might get the space if this defender decides to come back. So those are the sort of scenarios, even structural issues I've been saying about United. But what United do, they'll just start recycling the ball, just passing it around. Then they'll just do one cross, it's wasted. Now, coming back to this, look at this. Similar. Šeško makes the run. He makes the defenders think that he's running towards this space to get the ball. So the defenders are now flat-footed. They are facing their goal. Then Šeško will take up this space. This player passes to Šeško. Simons makes the run, or I think it's Openda. He makes the run. Šeško can ping the ball to that space. Then he runs towards the box. Similar thing he did here. See, he's come from this position, he's running. So this defender is now looking at the ball, he's looking at Šeško. This defender does not even know where Šeško is. Bruno has already pulled these two. So look at all this space. And remember, in the box, there are also two other defenders here, these ones. But they can't close down Šeško because this defender is thinking, do I go to Šeško or do I go to Mbumo? This one is also thinking, I just need to block. This one is already beaten. So Šeško, look at that pace. For guys who keep saying that Šeško does not have pace, this is just a screenshot. Šeško has left these two defenders for dead. He was in the same line with them. The next screenshot, they are behind him. So that's why I kept even asking that day. The other day I kept asking, when you say Šeško is slow, can you define what you mean by he is slow? Premium 254, you're saying, for me, the bigger picture, we need more technical central midfielders to play through the middle. Yeah, comes back to what I was saying. On paper, United have a very good squad. But in terms of the profile mix is a mismatch, a complete mismatch. United 254, I think it's a systematic problem since Ashley Young, when the United players defaulted. Premium 26, you're saying good at playing through the middle. That's why I'm more inclined to Steeler than all players we are linked to. Yeah. So at the end of the day, Šeško is a good striker. He just needs time. And unfortunately, this deep dive has gone for long. I didn't think it will go for that long. I thought I would cover it in 1 hour. But I hope we've learned something out of it. I hope we will now make better judgment of Šeško. That's why I keep saying, put sentiment aside, put emotion aside, just have that view. Interrogate, inspect, investigate. And one thing I love about nowadays is with all the connectivity we have, with AI as well. AI can do a very good research for you if you are not willing to go through Google and read and watch the videos to analyze. So, my opinion, United have a top class striker. It's just that they haven't set it up in a way that they will exploit his talents. They haven't set it up in a way that Šeško will thrive. Two inverted wingers who are not supposed to be wingers. They are more like number 10s. There are no overlapping fullbacks. The most creative player in the world does not really know how to play with a striker. My thinking was, when Šeško came on, is that Bruno would have a very, very good link-up play. Very, very good link-up play with Šeško. I thought Bruno and Šeško will thrive. So actually, let me see whether I can share this. I saw this stat and I was like, it doesn't look good. I think it was a combo or something. My nation. I think I can't find it, but there was a start I saw, like him and Mbumo, him and Casemiro, him um and Cunha, like the link up play, and Sheshko was nowhere on that list. So my thought was that we could see a lot of passes going to him. I also thought like Cunha and Mbumo would actually be looking for Sheshko. So my hope is, for now, United can't really fix that. Those are things that you fix during the summer break. Those are things that Carrick needs to work on. One thing I'm glad about Carrick is he's also found a way to unlock Sheshko. Sheshko has actually played better under Carrick than Amorim. And Amorim, Sheshko scored 2 goals in 1,404 minutes. And Carrick, Sheshko has scored 6 goals in 7 appearances. So that's a very, very good return. One thing we also know about Carrick is, yes, he does not play as direct as Amorim. There is a dip in stats. It's down 1.84 per game for Amorim, down to 1.83 per game for Carrick. So it's a slight dip. It's not a significant dip in terms of direct play, but at least he's trying to make sure that the players look for Sheshko. What I would prefer, if I was sitting in that coaching committee at United, I would say we have a very, very good young striker, but we are not using him. I keep saying this United team hasn't known how to play with strikers for years. And it comes down to depending on Bruno to score. It comes down to depending on corners and free kicks and all that. So once the front four know how to learn to play with each other. For example, also Cunha needs to learn how to play with Mbumo, needs to learn how to play with Bruno, needs to learn how to play with Sheshko. Sheshko needs to learn how to play with the three as well. Cunha, Mbumo, Bruno. That front four can get United 100 goals a season. They can get United 100 goals a season. Šeško can score 20. Bruno can score 20. Cunha can score 20. Mbumo can score 20. We already have 80. And then we have the odd goals from Casemiro, Ahmad here and there. United can score 100 goals if they find a working formula. United have 3 of the top Premier League scorers last season in Cunha, Mbumo, Bruno. They are among the top 10 Premier League scorers or GAs. But for some reason, it's not working. That's why I said on paper, United look good. But in reality, something is off. So if you already have 3 players who've given or who have a lot of output in GAs in the Premier League, then United should be among the top teams in terms of GA. United have been a top team in terms of XG, but we are not seeing the result in terms of GA. Bruno is top in terms of assists, but the strikers have few goals. So that's one of the issues I would expect if it's Carrick who's the next manager or the next manager who's coming in, is to look at these players, look at that front four, a very lethal front four. In fact, there was a time pundits were saying that Manchester United have the best attack in the Premier League. You remember that? So that new manager needs to find a way to unlock this front four. And that front four, we are not even counting Ahmad there. Also, Dogu has shown that he can actually score goals. So imagine having a 3 that is top 10, top 5 in terms of GA last season. And you had a young striker who was also among the top scorers in Germany. So you have a very good lineup. It's just that you need to find a way for those profiles to work. Yeah. Premium 256, Premium 26, you're saying, though the aspect you've not touched that I think he needs to improve on a lot is aggressiveness. With the intensity of the EPL, especially defensively, you need to be very hungry as a striker to perform. I cannot judge the aggressiveness when he's only having 18 touches in a game. And remember, part of those 18 touches are tackles. Like when there is a corner, he defends it, that's a touch. So we can't really judge the aggression when he's not really getting the ball. In fact, there is a reason why I did not share all his stats. Because I was looking at them, I'm like, the minutes are few, the touches are few. You also saw the heat map. Last season's heat map, I don't know whether you came in at that time, Premium 26. Let me see whether I've closed the presentation. If you compare his heat map right now and his heat map last season, this season, the biggest spot where it has a yellow is the penalty spot. The rest of the field are just green, green, green. You look at the Leipzig one, Šeško is all over. He's all over in the opponent's half and in the box. So it's difficult to judge his aggression when he's not really getting the ball enough. It's very, very difficult. I wish he was getting as many balls. In fact, Højlund used to get more service than Šeško. Højlund wasted a lot of chances. I wish Šeško would get similar chances that Højlund used to get. I remember there is a game Højlund missed 2 one-on-ones. Šeško has had very few chances going to him, very, very few service going to him. And the funny thing is, and we know this, when Šeško plays, there are few crosses. When he doesn't play, there are a lot of crosses. And it should be the opposite. It should be the opposite. Šeško should be at par or even have more headed goals than Casemiro. Šeško should be having more headed goals, headers, scoring headers. He should be scoring more headers than Casemiro, but he doesn't. So Premium, I can't give an opinion on aggression in terms of whether he's weak or not if he's getting, like the Chelsea game, 18 touches a game, and part of those touches are defensive touches. So, because I was actually, in fact, let me just Google his stats in that Chelsea game. Let me just do a quick Google. I think we'll just have the show at 2 hours we end because I didn't think it would be that long. So, looking at this game, I want to see the stats. Will it show? Let me log into FBref or even SofaScore. I hope they will have updated Šeško's account. Because when I was doing research on FBref in the morning, they had not updated the Chelsea game. So let me just do a quick check. Then probably I'll have an opinion on aggression other than it's difficult to judge because he hadn't gotten the ball much. So let me see. Oh, what's going on? So Šeško played 79 minutes. He had one shot. Imagine, one shot. So that already tells you something. I'm trying to see the passing stats for this game. Let me just, they haven't completely updated this. They haven't completely updated this game. Yeah, unfortunately they haven't. FBref haven't. Let me check who scored. Let me just check who scored quickly. Whoscored.com. We check Šeško. Let's see whether they've updated stats on this game. They should have, because the game was on Sunday. I don't know why. Just guys, hold on. Don't get tired. I'm trying to pull up the Šeško stats for this game. Let's see. Detailed. Let's see. Is it this game? No. I don't know why they haven't really updated all the stats. They haven't really updated all the stats. So match statistics. Chelsea. He played based on who scored. He played 80 minutes. He had one shot. He had what has happened? He won one aerial duel. He had a rating of 6.48. So let me see the defensive. So in terms of the defensive, he had one clearances, no blocks, no fouls. In terms of offensive, he had one shot, one dribble. I can't. The unfortunate thing about the tablet, it's abbreviating the titles. Let me look at the passing. He had 11 total passes. So listen to that. 11 total passes. The total amount of touches he had were 18. So out of those 18, 11 are passes. And then now you come count things like shots, that's another touch. A clearance is another touch, a dribble is another touch. So as I said, it's difficult. It's difficult because even if I go and look for Cunha's numbers, Cunha will have a lot of touches. In fact, let me just check Cunha. The number of touches Cunha had. So it's difficult to judge aggression when he's not getting the ball most of the time. It's very, very difficult. Matthias Cunha. Mateus Cunha. Yeah. Oh, there's another Mateus Cunha at Cruzeiro. So looking at match statistics, let me look at Cunha's stats. In terms of passing, Cunha had 21 total passes. He had one key pass. In terms of defense, he had one clearance. And then he had 2 shots, 1 goal, 1 key pass. So imagine Cunha had 21 and Cunha was not really involved in that game. So you can imagine. Yeah, so I agree with you in terms of intensity of the PL. In terms of intensity of the PL, definitely he needs to improve because one thing I've found that in terms of 50-50 balls, he loses out. But all in all, as much as we focus on the negatives, let's also acknowledge the positives and ask ourselves, even if he has weaknesses, are United using his strengths? For example, we know Bruno has weaknesses, but United use his strengths. United exploit Bruno's strengths. So are United exploiting Šeško's strengths? That's my question. Because if United were not playing to Bruno's strengths, then we will say Bruno is not good, Bruno is not aggressive, Bruno is not that, he's slow, he gives the ball away too much. For example, one of Bruno's weaknesses is he gives the ball away too much. And if you've realized, the players know that Bruno might lose the ball, so they tend to be ready to recover the ball. So if United are playing to Bruno's strengths, why are they not playing to Šeško's strengths? Yeah. So thanks. It's been a good live. I've enjoyed it. I hope to see you tomorrow, God willing. So thanks for giving us a follow. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the likes. Make sure you also head over to the YouTube channel. You hit the subscribe button, the share button. And yeah, It's been a good deep dive. I didn't think we'll do 2 hours, actually. I thought it would be 1 hour. So until tomorrow, guys, cheers and bye-bye.